So they say brilliant minds and passion makes purpose. Right beside me here, I have someone whose work embodies both. Dr. Nelson Aluya, CEO of Eralmed Medical Group, Assistant Professor of Medicine at Rutgers University, and a man whose heart for service reaches far beyond the hospital. He is a physician, a teacher, and a humanitarian, known for building bridges between health, leadership, and community. And honestly, meeting him today feels inspiring because I've been trying in my own little way to actually give back to the community using my skincare brand. So you are an inspiration to me, honestly. Thank you for giving me your time to actually talk to you about this. How does it feel to be being part of Naftraph this year? And what's one key message you hope everyone takes away from this thing?
It's a great pleasure and an opportunity to be a Naftraph. It's exhilarating because to see that those in the medical field, meaning medical practice, can actually come and collaborate with those in the pharmaceutical practice. I graduated from Eralmed Medical University and I had a lot of friends who were pharmacists. But we talked more on a friendship level, not on an academic level. And we never really talked about the cohesive collaborative work that can be done with pharmacists and doctors. But seeing this and seeing that one individual with a mindset can bring so many people together from different spaces and different, disciplines, from nursing to medicine to pharmacy and everything else, laboratory techs. It's incredible. And that's why when I got the opportunity or they called me to come speak as a guest speaker, I said, you know what, it's a huge opportunity because I came over the last couple of years, came to realize the role and the function of pharmacy in providing healthcare. Understanding that in our environment here in Nigeria, a pharmacist or the pharmacy chemist is the first contact of most people to healthcare. So that has to be integrative to the healthcare system. So coming here, it's even better of an eye-opener. So if there's one word we'll take out of here, healthcare is everybody's business.
Oh, that's amazing.
And the best way to achieve healthcare is to approach it in a collaborative way that will provide integrative, collaborative, sustainable health services for all.
Yes. I really don't know how you do it, but I was about to ask him about how does it feel having different healthcare professionals in one room. But you have already answered the question. But if you could describe this year's Naftraph conference in one word, what will it be? Just one.
Superb.
That's amazing. So, what moment pushed you to go beyond medicine and start giving back?
That's a loaded question.
Like, is there a specific moment you just felt like this is my time to start giving back?
So, and that's one aspect a lot of people do not know about me, unless you research well. I think in 2004, 2005, my daughter came back from the US to Nigeria for her auntie's, my sister-in-law's wedding, and was with her grandparents. My mother-in-law was in Benin, and she was shot by armed robbers. She was shot in the head. So yes, so it's been a long journey of that. So my wife was pregnant then. We're both in the US, and we're called and said this is what happened. My father-in-law was killed at that point in time as well, and my daughter was shot in the head. We had to rush her to University of Benin, from Benin to Ibadan. So but you see the gracefulness of what the American system is. It was on Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is a big American holiday, so the embassy is closed. But right at home, we were able to call people, call everybody else, and they called the embassy, and they opened up the embassy for her, just for her, to get a doctor to fly with her from Nigeria
to the US.
Giving an emergency visa to fly with her to bring her back to the US.
Oh my God, that must be traumatizing.
So it was traumatizing. She was about 3.5 years old. So today she's 23, graduate and going to law school. But thank God she had over 15 surgeries. So let me think. And one of the things I told God, because I schooled here in ABU and I know what I've done for people here before I left. I said, God, you can't let my child die.
No.
Because of what I've done for other people's children, you can't let mine die. So of course, obviously he answered. So in respect, and now said, look, if I was in the US, my daughter would be dead. Because there are no resources to handle. So best way is to give back. And see every step in ensuring that the healthcare services upgraded on one level or another. It's not easy. It takes a whole lot of time to really change not just the system but the mindset of the people as well, so that we get to a point where you can pick up a phone call and that phone call will give you the kind of help that you deserve. So that episode is what has pushed me consistently, to give back. Unlike what other people would think. Other people run and shun Nigeria and never have anything to do with Nigeria anymore.
No, it's true. It happens a lot. This is something we shouldn't be proud of, but it actually happens. So for you, what does success in healthcare really mean?
The ability to have access to health, any kind of health, whenever you want, however you want, at an affordable rate that will give you peace and satisfaction, not just for you, but the family that supports you.
Yes, it's true. It's true. So looking back, what advice would you give your younger self as a doctor starting out?
Well, do I have regrets? No.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you this, I have a philosophy of life that every step and every path that I've taken was ordained already.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So because it was ordained, that's the path that was carved for me, whether I like it or not. You understand? My daughter's issue probably was predestined, and probably if that didn't happen, maybe I would not be here. You understand? So my younger self is the advice was maybe I would have started earlier.
This is an advice I'll give everyone.
Yes,
being
I would have started a whole lot earlier and way back in medical school. But you see, one of the big problem that we have is that we have not back home created a culture of mentorship.
Yes.
I never knew what it was in Nigeria, all through from elementary school to secondary school to university, and the spirit and the culture of mentorship and giving back. We never have that.
No.
And that's why you find out that somebody can take up a position of authority of office, political or otherwise, sit and steal money.
Yes.
That is for generations. That's supposed to provide health and services for 5 generations. You steal, or she will steal that money in 1 month. That is painful and that's disheartening.
Honestly,
because they were never taught to give back. Because if you were taught to give back as a kid, you rather give back to the community rather than stealing.
Yes.
So if there's one thing we need to do and teach, which is a mindset restructuring, is to create a culture of mentorship where you teach and give back to the young ones coming behind and teach them how to give back as well.
Yes. I believe for the giving back, I was taught by my parents, because in our community, it's not the fanciest community, but they were able to put up 2 tanks of water to make sure they supply water adequately within the community. And I thought, okay, you're supplying water to use for bathing and all those, let me do the clean water as well. So honestly, it's very important.
See, that's where the issue, it's fine, we learn from home.
Yes.
But whatever you learn from home, you just say that's the ideal thing that your parents should teach you.
Yes.
Society should teach us that.
Yes.
Not just our own home.
Yes.
It begins at home. Charity begins at home.
Yes,
but beyond home, these things, because your family may be good, they taught you, but how many other families?
Honestly.
You understand? That's where we need. So if there's one thing we're going to do, is to create in our community that culture of giving back and the mentorship.
Honestly, it's very, very true. And I recently started learning about the whole mentorship program because of YouTube. Obviously, I watched people like Steve talk, Diary of a CEO, and how he's actually using those people he interviewed to mentor him move forward.
So what I tell people, it wasn't always like this.
Yes.
We had an ingenious, culturally based system of mentorship where you move from one stage to another, from childhood to pre-adult and then adulthood, and you pass through rites or passages to become an adult. We had it for men, we had it for women, but the Western culture disparaged that and dismantled everything else. So we were now left with nothing. Now, but we didn't understand the white man's concept, and the white man learned a lot of these things from us, developed it, gave it names.
Yes, it's true.
Mentorship. So, but what we now, when we lost that mentorship structure, that ingenious, cultural, indigenous mentorship structure, because that's what it was a structure, not a culture. We now have what I call the guidanship. So there's a difference between guidanship and mentorship.
Yes.
In guidanship, I'll give you everything you want. I want you to do this. I want you to go there. I want you to get there. But you know what? With the hope that when you get there, you will not be bigger than I am. you still continue to be subservient to me.
Yes, it's true.
So it's a guardianship culture, and that's what we have now. So I can raise you to become CEO or whatever, but I can still tell you to do whatever you need to do.
Yes.
I can raise you to become a governor, but I still have control over you as a governor.
Yes,
Because I don't expect you to be bigger than I am. But mentorship culture, you raise somebody with the expectation, giving them all the resources they can, time, money, and intellect, to achieve greatness with the expectation that they'll become bigger than you.
Yes, it's true.
And that's what mentorship. It doesn't have an envy.
No.
You understand?
No.
It's not despiseful.
That's something that we need to learn as Nigerians. You can't be envious of someone. Even what I usually tell myself is, as my friend, the moment I see you doing big things for yourself, I'm like, I tap into the blessing. Someday I'll also have something maybe bigger than
And
this.
support them.
Yes, but I'm so happy for
you'll
you.
be happy for them.
Yes,
Be supportive of them,
yes, exactly.
you know?
What do you think Nigeria's biggest healthcare challenge really is beyond funding, and how can we strengthen partnerships between Nigerians abroad and those here at home?
Good. So one thing we need to understand, healthcare is not cheap.
No, it's not.
And it's not free. Somebody's paying for it somewhere, sometime, somehow. Period. So because if we begin to think like that, then we begin to invest in healthcare. I take it in two prongs. There's an individual investment in healthcare, meaning you would invest in your own health and know that your health is paramount not just to you, but to your family and to your community. You understand? So what does that mean? Meaning you avoid the things that put you at risk for diseases. Smoking, drinking, risk-taking, all of this is sexual promiscuity, all of those things that will put you at risk for other diseases. That's one. Two, you keep your environment clean and neat.
Yes.
You understand? They say cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yes.
So if you keep your environment clean and neat, the chance of cholera coming up, dysentery coming up, even mosquitoes, there's a puddle of water and it's there. Everybody's just walking by and looking at it, don't care. It breeds mosquitoes. And the mosquitoes bite a few people and people get sick.
Yes.
You understand? So that's one of the personal responsibility of health. You understand? The other part is you picking up a doctor who you go see, even when you're not sick.
Yes.
You do an annual well check. We have cars now.
Yes.
Cars will tell you when to go do an annual check, right?
Yes.
You see a pointer.
Yes.
It's time for oil change. It's time for this, and you take the car to go do oil change.
Yes.
How about you? You don't need an oil change.
You
Right?
definitely need one.
You need an oil change.
definitely
You need a
one.
tune-up.
Yes.
You understand? You're working non-stop.
Yes.
You understand? So doing that and having the time for yourself as well,
Yes.
where you have a mental break, time from work, time from all the craziness, time to take yourself out, not just the physical but mental as well.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And not just that, but being our community's keeper. See somebody who's in trouble, who's struggling, even mentally, just asking, how are you? Are you okay? You understand?
Yes.
All of those things. Those were the things that we grew up with. That's what the kind of Nigeria that I grew up with,
Yes.
that I knew.
Not
You
the one we
understand?
have now.
But not the one we have now. So we have to work hard to bring that back again. And I tell somebody, and I tell a few young men when I speak to them, I say, look, unfortunately, for us to fix this, to see the Nigeria we want, that'll be better than what we had even in the 1980s and 60s. Because unfortunately, Nigeria got rich before it got mature.
Yes.
And that's why with the wealth, we had no maturity. We squandered it like a typical teenager with a lot of money.
Yeah.
You understand? So when we'll have to do that, this generation is a generation that will have to sacrifice for the future to come. We have to roll up our sleeves to get the work done.
Yes. As I mentioned, I do a little bit of donation as well. But from your own perspective, how important are these small, consistent acts, and how do we build culture of service that lasts beyond one generation?
Yes. So first and foremost, know who you are.
Yes.
Know what you need. Know what your purpose is. Because the first thing to achieving peace is identifying who you are and what your purpose in life. And it's easy to stay focused and pursuing those circumstances and pursuing that purpose. Because once you do that, no matter how difficult attaining the goals that your purpose is set for, you go through it all. You understand? They'll be difficult. Nothing good comes easy. So once you do that, then you begin to look for those who are on the same wavelength like you.
Yes.
Meaning, if you're in climate change, then I look for you because you're also in climate change.
Yes.
I have resources that you don't have, and you have resources that I don't have. So if we come together, combine it, it becomes bigger and better. And that's what the conference like Naftraph is looking like.
Yes.
Because everybody's coming together.
Exactly.
Everybody's putting their resources together. They're putting their time and they're putting their intellect.
Yes.
So when you do that, you identify those who are the same wavelength as you, who also have the bandwidth to do the things. Because you can go 10 miles, but somebody can push you to go 20 miles and the other to 50 miles. You understand?
Yes.
So once you do that, you form a collective with a common agenda and a common dream that, okay, you know what? If it's this environment, let's put solar power here. You understand? And you look for the resources to be able to do that. It's never going to come easy. But guess what? You can find those resources in your network. And that's why I say, show me your network and I'll tell you your network.
I think like you have one thing. I actually noticed this because I just finished interviewing Dr. Buma, and she said, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is the same thing, but in a different way. So Dr. Nelson, you have trained and mentored many across the continent. What's the most important thing young professionals should learn early?
Dignity, self-assurance, value and respect for yourself and for the profession that you've chosen. But above that is contentment. Because once you're contented, you will not go out to steal. You will not be envious of somebody else. You will pursue things that you want to achieve. But at the same time, you'll still be able to give back. And that's what contentment is able to do. You understand? And that's one of the things that we're lacking right now in our community. Contentment. A lot of people are not contented.
Yeah, it's true.
You have an iPhone 16 Max, Pro Max. Then you want 17 Pro Max.
Oh, God. Yes.
Which is $2,000. Transfer that in Naira. How much is that? For a phone.
Yes.
What the heck are you going to do with a phone like that? Because a lot of people outside this country, guess what? Nobody in the US goes to buy a phone and put down $2,000 cash. No. They pay instrumentally.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
It's paid instrumentally. Yes. Slowly. Over time, over 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
You understand? So
yes.
On the average, most people carry those phones for 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
And then they'll reach out to you, and then guess what? They'll say, bring the old one, I'll give you a discount.
Yes. Yes.
So that's a system. But here, no, we're not like that. So even the contentment in other things,
yes.
the armed robbery, the kidnapping,
yes.
and all the other stuff, you understand? Yes. Where you don't have the means, you don't have the capacity, yes. You don't have the academic or intellectual training, yes. But you want to live like somebody who has a PhD or who comes from a wealthy home. Yes. So you see, you're going to steal, you know. Yes. So contentment is huge.
But I believe the contentment part, it actually depends on who you are surrounding yourself with.
Yes.
And it's also the mindset. Because I, as a lady in Nigeria, I believe I'm surrounded by friends that are always trying to change their phone, trying this. But I had my iPhone 11 for 4 years, right. And I'm very proud of it, right. And I'm content, I'm happy. So I was almost pushed to actually follow that trend. But hearing you talk, I'm going to make sure I take that with my full chest.
Right, because yes. That kind of money you can reinvest somewhere that will yield you more money. Exactly. So that tomorrow when you want to buy your iPhone Pro Max, you're not even thinking about it. This time around, you're not even thinking about buying it for yourself. No. You're buying phones or laptops or whatever for a whole school.
Yes.
And that will give you value.
And that will give you even more happiness.
Yes,
honestly.
Happiness.
So the last question, outside your career, what gives you peace or joy? What's one life principle that keeps you grounded? And when you look at Nigeria's future, what gives you hope? I know I said one question.
Right. So to Nigeria's future, I have hope. That's why I'm here.
Yes.
And that's why I do the things that I haven't been home in almost 7 years because I'm so busy. So a lot of these young men that you see and women who you see around me, especially with the YTWT, we're meeting for them for the first time. But you know why? But I've been able to give back even while I was there. And I bless God and I thank God for these young men. Because one of the things that people say, you don't know anybody to trust. There's nobody to trust anymore, even your own family. But I've been so gifted with some of these young men. Some of these guys, I told you, they came all the way from Abuja just to come welcome me at the airport.
Wow.
You understand? And others from all about, Lagos, from the island. They drove, they cooked, they whatever. Yes. You understand? So I've been blessed with those kind of people.
Yes.
So, but because of that, and I know there's still good young men and women who have the passion and determination to do good for this country, to serve this country well. So my hope is to raise a whole crop of young men and women with a mindset of self-assurance, self-determination, self-dignity, value for life and value for respect, who also have a nationalistic interest of heart to build Nigeria, not just for Nigeria, but for the entire Africa, but not just for the entire Africa, but for the entire black race. Because Nelson Mandela once said that the day Nigeria will wake up, the rest of Africa will never be the same.
Amen.
Everybody's waiting on Nigeria to wake up. But and that Nigeria that are waking up is you, and it's me. And especially those young ones. So if I believe that, then my job is to raise thousands and millions of young Nigerians who would hold on and take on that mantle of leadership, not just for their community, not just for their state, not just for Nigeria or Africa, but for the entire black race.
Yes.
So that's the hope. And that's what drives me every day and gives me joy. You understand?
Amazing.
For young people that I see are happy, I see that I can provide solutions to their problem or help them solve their problem. If I can't, I'll point them in the direction where they can have their problem solved. So the future is bright and it's hopeful. And I'm glad.
We are hoping that you point us at the right direction. I'm going to put the link to your LinkedIn. Right. Thank you so much, Doctor. I really appreciate it. Your time is very resourceful, and I'm glad I actually got the opportunity to interview him. And this is the first time he's coming in 7 years. So how great is that?
Yeah,
thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.